Let's start this video by letting Muslim Brooklyn unpack this Islamic Dawah claim. She presents this Deuteronomy 24:16 and Ezekiel 18:20 objection within this 1-minute video. It has almost 1 million views, by the way. And yeah, unfortunately, YouTube is full of other videos with the same objection. Her video is titled, "If you are a Christian, can you explain this?" Let's watch.
Assalamu alaikum, guys.
Walaikum salam.
I found a Bible and I was reading the verse in Deuteronomy chapter 24 verse 16 where it says, "The fathers shall not be put to death for the children, neither shall the children be put to death for the fathers. Every man shall be put to death for his own sin." Every man shall be put to death for his own sin. And then again, Ezekiel chapter 18 verse 20 says, "The soul that sinneth, it shall die. The son shall not bear the iniquity of the father, neither shall the father bear the iniquity of the son. The righteousness of the righteous shall be upon him, and the wickedness of the wicked may be upon him." We know that our Christian brothers and sisters believe that God is a Trinity and that He sent His only Son, Jesus Christ, to die for our sins, but the Bible clearly states that that wouldn't happen. So, help.
Did she just say help at the end of the video?
Help. Help. Help.
Oh, okay. Well,
Help is on the way, dear!
Mrs. Dawah!
Help is on the way! Oh, the way!
I may have missed something, but I couldn't find many specific Christian responses to this type of polemical objection, like the example we just saw. And those I did come across were rather long-winded and or talking a lot about topics and doctrines that are not really relevant to these passages. This polemic is mostly regurgitated by Muslims, but occasionally also Jews and militant atheists. I think this objection could be rather easily refuted within a short YouTube-friendly length video, so let's get to it. Now, the polemic is, as we just saw, attempting to argue that the core Orthodox doctrine and central belief of Christianity, the atonement of Jesus Christ for our sins, is somehow refuted, contradicting, and invalidated by these two verses. A father shall not die for the sins of his son, and vice versa. The person will be put to death for his own sin alone, aka Christianity is false. I'm going to show why this objection falls flat hard on its face. Both of these two passages are descriptive history. The object in both of these two verses is not you and me in 2022. It's ancient Israel. And here is the situation and type of cultural and historical context of these two verses. In the Deuteronomy verse, this is a part of many social justice laws and terms of the Sinai covenant, specifically given to the theocracy of ancient Israel before entering the Promised Land. It was for them at that time and place, considering the past fallaways during the wandering period, where many people rebelled and died. When we get to the time of Ezekiel, they had continued to break God's laws, adopting wicked Canaanite practices like child sacrificing and bestiality, worship of idols and so on. So when they allowed the evil to become so great in their nation by their own free will, God removed His protective hand, which led to the captivity and Babylonian exile. But God still loves them and is faithful to His covenant with them. In fact, just 2 verses further down from this polemic, in Ezekiel 18:23, we read, "Do I take any pleasure in the death of the wicked, declares the Lord, rather than that he would turn away from his ways and live?" Here are some big cultural and historical context points for these 2 verses. When going back a few thousand years, the world, culture, norm and society was very different. We are so individualistic and independent in 2022 that we can't really grasp the world back then. At the time and place of ancient Israel, we are talking about a mindset, about a massive honor and shame culture. But not for me, I and myself, but rather nation, tribe, and family. Things were back then all about a community as a whole, nowhere near how we think about it today. Back then, the individual was the family, and the family was the individual. It was all about family name as a whole, family reputation, family honor, family lineage, family blessing. And yes, one individual alone could also bring on curse, shame, or punishment for his or her entire family in that society, culture, and world. I will show what kind of people, culture, and mindset that God is dealing with back then by just reading, for example, verse 18 and 19, right before this Ezekiel 18:20 verse that is used for the polemic. It says, "As for his father, because he practices extortion, robs his brother, and does what is not good among his people, he will die for his iniquity. Yet you say, why should the son not suffer for his father's iniquity? When a son does what is just and right, and observes all my statutes and carries them out, he will surely live." And that's the point of these two verses addressed in this video. In such massive family honor and shame culture, God did not want here such mindset and cultural baggage to hang over someone from an evil family, whom individually themselves strive for righteousness and to walk according to God's law. The clear message is, God deals justly with individuals. Deuteronomy 24:16 and Ezekiel 18:20 could never apply to the atonement of Jesus and Christian doctrine for so many reasons. We looked at a couple. Let me just show one last one as a conclusion and overkill. Jesus was not an ancient Israelite at the time of the Exodus. Jesus was not an ancient Israelite at the time of the Babylonian exile. Jesus was not an ordinary created human son, nor was Jesus a father, or a human only. So Jesus doesn't fit the category to begin with of these two verses. And in case you didn't know, Jesus was God incarnate, sinless, and the one who in God's eternal nature inspired these two verses to begin with, given to created human beings at a specific time and place where this culture and mindset was the standard. So scripturally, contextually, and logically, this Islamic Dawah claim fails.